Hi, this is Andrew from Guitar Tone Pro, taking a look today at the Chase Bliss Preamp Mk II Automatone. Alright, so I just picked this pedal up recently, and so far I'm trying to compare it to all the gain pedals on my board. I have tried to mimic my settings that I use right now, and you can be the judge for yourself, but I think, as I said last time, I believe my board is going to change a lot very, very soon. And you will see why in just a second here. All right, we will start with the broadcast. We will go through the clean side and the higher gain side. I will be switching the Chase Bliss on and off from the pedal itself, and the broadcast and other pedals through the Morningstar MC8 switcher. Clean side first. Chase Bliss. Okay, that's pretty close. So now moving on to the higher gain side of the broadcast. Again, this broadcast is the dual foot switch, the 24 volt internally upregulated. So it's only got 9 volt in, but it gets boosted up to 24 volts inside. So it's got higher headroom and a little bit different character than the standard one. But let's check out the high gain side. Forgot to switch to the next patch. So I think that works out pretty close. Maybe very, very slight differences, but honestly, you can't tell even in the room with no backing track. Forgot to mention early on, I'm playing the SVL into the 2-Rock Bloomfield drive, only going into a single amp today just to make it easier so I can use the mic to record my voice. Moving on, let's go to the very rare, pretty darn expensive Dumbloid BTM boost. hitting the boost on the Dumbloid. Yes, I think that pretty much shows it enough. Matches it pretty spot on. Volume, compression, everything pretty much hits it on the nail. All right, moving on. We're going to go to the King of Tone next. We'll do the red side, then the yellow side, then both sides together. This is the red side. And a quick note, the King of Tone is running with both sides on the clean boost side. The internal treble trimmers are turned up a little bit, and it is running on 18 volts. So it's got higher headroom than a standard if you run on 9 volt. Yellow side. Both sides. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good match. Slightly different in there, but not a whole lot. A little more tweaking, and I'm sure we could get it there. All right, moving on to something a little bit more difficult this time. We're going to try and copy the Fuzz Factory 7. Now, this is a very non-standard fuzz, and the fuzz that is in the Preamp Mk II is more of a fuzz face kind of thing, but they are both germanium. This is how I have the Fuzz Face 7 set now. Now, it is a very versatile pedal, so you can get some really squashy, harmonic-y things that the preamp won't be able to do. Just due to lack of controls like bias and whatnot, but you can get a lot out of it, and I think you'll be surprised how close I was able to get. Let's take a look. This is the Fuzz Face. I'm still on the King of Tone patch. There we go. Yeah, so it's got really close. I mean, as you can see on the Fuzz Factory 7, the drive is only halfway up, where the Preamp Mk II's got the drive all the way up. A lot of volume left on both of them, so they can get quite loud and quite rowdy. It's a different thing, but for the setting that I use the Fuzz Factory 7 on right now, it's a very close match. So that's 4 pedals right there. That's King of Tone, Dumbloid, Broadcast 24 volt, and the Fuzz Factory 7 that have been matched near enough that I don't see why it couldn't replace it for everybody. Makes the $750 asking price of the Preamp Mk II way more palatable when you're thinking of the fact that King of Tone goes for $600 right now on Reverb, or you can wait 3 years for it. Dumbloid brand new is over $600. The Broadcast 24 volt, when they make it, usually sells for $300. Those are usually not up for sale. It's a special run usually. And the Fuzz Factory 7 is also $350, $400, depending on the finish. So you're looking at, potentially actually a very good savings and a very good value. And that doesn't even go into the fact that it can do everything in between. The one thing I've found that's kind of frustrating, but also its strength for the Preamp Mk II is that the faders are very sensitive. The tiniest little taps can make a huge difference, especially when you're right on that cusp. So you always get to those points where a tiny bit of touch gives you a quick jump in volume or gain, and then above that and below that, it's less sensitive. Well, with the faders, you get to that spot, and there's a huge amount of change in just the tiniest taps and bumps. I've also found that sometimes the faders don't seem to track very accurately when you're recalling a preset. So I can set two presets almost exactly the same, and switching between it, sometimes I'll notice the faders move just a tiny bit. So that's another thing to consider. I'm not sure the accuracy of the recalling of the faders. The actual board and the actual sound is probably recalled correctly, but I'm wondering if the position of the fader just doesn't match 100%. So as long as you don't touch it, then it's not a problem, but it does make it a little bit more difficult to match one preset to another. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Leave comments in the bottom. Let me know what you think. If you've got a Preamp Mk II yet, or if you plan on getting one. I have some other pedals I can give it a shoot out against. I might try it against the Karen from Vemran and see how it does against that. I already know it can copy the blue tube from TubeWorks pretty well, even though that's a tube-driven pedal. So we'll keep going. I'm gonna definitely put it on the board, and we'll shoot it out with anything else I get in between now and then. So have a good night. Thanks again for watching, and leave your comments, like, subscribe. Let me know feedback, anything you want me to see, any improvements you want me to do. Have a great night.